He's a good racetrack kitty. So this is round 3 for me. It's the second joint OMRRA Round here at PIR. Racing the Ninja 250R. This is my A bike. Got my B bike up ahead on rain tires. Not going to need those. I'm going to put it on the slicks tonight so that if anything goes wrong with A bike, B bike is ready to go. I got impatient and I bought next year's race bike this year. So 2024 ZX4RR. Really didn't like the stock tires, the GPR 300s, and I didn't get a title or registration for it. It's just going to be a race bike. So Adam Black is mounting up some Bridgestone VO2 slicks, and I got the flash in it from David at V-Cycle Nut Tuning. Can't wait to ride it with full power. I put like 450 miles on the street, and it is so fun. I would really like to buy another one to keep as a street bike. So far in the race bike conversion, haven't done much. I put a tall screen on it. I got body work for it, but I got to paint it first. I got the rear sets on. I have the Woodcraft frame sliders, but I got the big like domed puck that seems like it'll be a little less likely to catch the grass, and it doesn't fit with the stock body work or even the race body work. It seems like I may have to cut it. The clutch side case saver was easy to install, so I got that on. Got Woodcraft rear sets, Woodcraft spools, and I think that's pretty much all I've done. So other than that, she's just bone stock, but I love it. It is so much fun. I can't wait to get it out on track. Brand new Bridgestone VO2s. This will be my first time ever on brand new slicks. First time ever riding the ZX4 with it flashed and unlocked and full power, and first time riding the ZX4 on track. Just about lunchtime, I got time to get it switched over, and then first session after lunch I'll go for a ride on that. I'm feeling like I'm up to speed on the 250. Early in the morning I was like getting an extra downshift in some corners because I wasn't carrying that much speed into them, and I was coming out the end like down on power, and now that I've picked up the speed, I have just stayed a gear higher than that and roll through faster and carrying more speed. I'm closer in the power on the 250. So this thing's been working good. It's my first time. I changed all 3 bikes over to GP shift, and I haven't misshifted it yet, knock on wood. It has had some like weird glitchiness in like 5th gear over on the back straightaway, turn 7, whatever it is. But it hasn't always done that, so I don't know what's up. Alright, yesterday, first time out with the ZX4 on slicks with full power. It was so good it brought a tear to my eye on the way in. It's just everything I had hoped it would be. Now today, we're not doing anything with this. Today, we're going for the win on the Ninja 250. She's all ready to go. Warmers are on. We're in practice 1 because we're the slow guys, so suited up for the riders meeting and ready to jump on as soon as we get back, aren't we? So completed the first race. I raced ultra lightweight super sport just to get my mind in the game. Doesn't always feel like there's enough laps in practice, and so ultra lightweight super sport happened before Ninja 250 Cup, which is like 250 Cup and 250 GP for the OMRRA series are the ones that I'm concerned with, but I was able to beat some of the RC 390s and did some battle with two Yamaha R3s. They'd freight trained me on every straight, the back straight and the front straight, passed them in turn 3 and 4 most every lap, and on the last lap I didn't see the white flag, but I knew it was probably getting real close to the last lap, and I got a good run on them, passed them a little earlier in turn 3 than normal, and then the two fastest guys on the RC 390s, Nate and Austin, came around just coming out of turn 4 onto that back straight, and I think that probably held up the two R3s because they didn't pass me again on that back straight, and then I was able to carry all the speed I wanted to through 7, 8, 9, which I usually had to go a margin's worth of slower following those two, and so I just sailed through 7, 8, 9 as fast as I could, and took it all the way to the line to finish ahead of the two bikes that I was battling with, so that's pretty rad. I feel good about that, and I ran a 128 something on the last lap instead of mid 130s, so if I can carry all that speed that I want to through turns 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 7, 8, 9, hopefully I can get in the low 128s or maybe high 127s. Got some fast people for the Ninja 250, and so the top 3, 4 are going to be pretty close. So I qualified number 2, so I'm on the front row of the grid, like in the middle. So hopefully I can get the whole shot, but we'll see. And it's 9 laps, so got time to make it happen. We're in the second wave, and I can't remember what's in the first wave. I think is lightweight super sport, perhaps, so we're unlikely to catch them, so I don't know if lap traffic will be a problem. There's 2 vintage bikes starting behind us, so we'll get them at some point. So I'm going to try and line up those passes on the vintage guys to see if I can make that play to my advantage with whoever else I'm battling with. So anyway, fingers crossed, here we go. All right, race recap. It's Sunday. All my races are over. I got 6 races in this weekend on the Ninja 250. So I raced ultra lightweight, super sport, and then 250 Cup and 250 GP. Yesterday, Saturday, in the first 250 race, I think was the Cup race, and Jacob Marshall drafted past me and was ahead of me at the line, and then I late braked him going into turn 1. We did not run the chicane yesterday, so and then I was ahead of him when the red flag came out a lap later, or that lap, and but anyway, so it goes back to whatever the last start finish line crossing is. So he got the win for that first race, and then in the second race, which is the GP, so it's a longer race, I was in the lead. I think Jacob figured out he could draft and pass me. If he was right on me in turn 9, he could draft and pass me before the line for the win, so he could just sit. As long as he could hang with and stay on my rear tire, which he was able to do, he felt pretty good about just pulling a last lap move. And then we got lapped, so we didn't get to see a white flag. We just got a checker flag. And but what was weird was they threw the checker for Nate and Austin on their fast RC 390s, and then I was in the lead and Jacob was right behind me, so I got credited for the win, but then the flagger threw a white flag right after the checkers, which was super confusing and potentially dangerous because now Nate and Austin are on their parade lap, and Jacob and I are like, well, white flag, I guess we're still going. So we kept racing, and you know, I got held up a little bit by running into Nate and Austin in 7, 8, 9, and I don't know how far Jacob was behind me, but he was able to like close up onto my wheel and then draft and pass me before the finish line. So it kind of seemed like maybe he had won it, but the timing and scoring had me ahead when the race is actually over. So the lesson that I've learned is if you get lapped, that's your white flag. If you get lapped and you know, you might not see a white flag, you'll just see the checkers. And also, I've been reminded that the white flag is just a courtesy flag, so they might miss it anyway. You know, we're racing multiple waves in one race, and so there's different speeds and there's different skill levels. So, you know, the groups get spread out, and it's hard for the flaggers to really know. You know, they can really only pay attention to that first wave, who's fastest, and trying to know who's fast in the second wave is much more difficult. So anyway, that's racing. So yesterday I got second and then first. Today I ended up with 2 second places. I did the ultra lightweight super sport again, and same sort of deal. I got to play with 2 of the R3s, and I held off one of them. But Jeff got me today. I couldn't get around him to finish ahead of him, but we're like battling for 7th place or something like that. Anyway, no big deal. And but so I've been trying to learn GP shift, and then I've got like 100,000 miles on a street bike, so trying to like learn an opposite shift pattern in my brain when there's a lot of things going on. I missed it, and sometimes I'd go to grab a downshift and I upshift, and so now I'm like way low in power band. And unfortunately, like twice this morning, I money shifted it, and I went to shift up a gear, and I did a street bike shift, which made me shift down and lose all my drive and over rev the engine. This poor girl, you know, I'm sorry. And then I did it once in the Ninja 250 race again, like coming out of the chicane, the same spot every time. So Jacob got around me when I misshifted, and then I couldn't reel him in. And so he won the first one. And then in the second race, one of the guys in ultra lightweight super sport, who's a little slower, he's new, I think he's only had a couple weekends of racing. We've done some battle before, and I believe he's one of the guys in ultra lightweight super sport that I passed back and forth. So anyway, I was reeling him in, and then coming out of the chicane, I was right on him, and he missed a shift or got a false neutral, and I ran into him, and his exhaust like ran right into here. You can see his tire right there, and you know, it ripped up my fender, and so I was like hooked on him. I couldn't turn off of him, so I had to like mentally hit the brakes to unhook myself and then go around him. And of course Jacob went by right then. So I was looking at the times, and I think it was I lost 4 seconds on that lap. So it probably cost me, you know, 6 seconds, and made up a little bit. Anyway, I don't know. But then I put in like 3 or 4 heaters of a lap, and I ran on lap 12. I ran my fastest. I don't know what my PR is, but it was probably that last lap. I think I ran a 1:36 with the chicane. So, but it wasn't enough. And I finished, I don't know, a second or 2 behind Jacob. I just wasn't close enough to reel him in again. So 2 second places for the day. It'll be interesting to see how the points calculate for the OMRRA and WMRRA champs. But that's racing. I didn't crash. It could have happened, but it didn't. So I'm happy about that. It was really good racing. It was all really clean. Going fast with Jacob, never really scared each other. So that's good. And we've been talking after all the races, and it's been fun. Really having a good time, and really looking forward to ripping around on that thing as soon as I get enough time to get it to pass tech inspection. So that's it. Time to load up. There's a few more races before awards. I'm gonna try and get everything loaded up. So gotta hustle. Just gave the ZX4RRR Armor Bodies bodywork a quick wet sand. And I gotta say, this is awfully nice bodywork. It is so flexible, and it seems like those ones aren't reinforced, but where was it? I think it's these ones here. Yeah, you can see, like, I believe that's Kevlar reinforced mounting points, and it is just like crazy flexy. So hopefully quite crashable. The primer finish was really, really good. I was tempted just to spray it as is, but I know that just to keep it from flaking off, you know, you get the track day stickers and the tech stickers there, like on my bodywork that I did wet sand and paint, but I didn't have primer on it. You know, it peels up some paint when you're pulling stuff off. So trying to do a good job. I have some Rust-Oleum green engine paint. So this, you know, if it turns out like this green instead of the cap green, that would be perfect. But anyway, ceramic coating, it's gloss, it's enamel. It seemed like it was going to be a really tough spray paint, and you know, pretty much the same price as regular spray paint, and it seemed like the color was a good match. So I would like to mimic the 40th anniversary paint scheme, but I'm just going to base coat everything green, and then with some vinyl, maybe I'll put like some white and some blue and some white, and maybe that, do a little bit of blue and white, and then the blue Kawasaki logo. We'll see what I can do. For the Kawasaki contingency, called their like Racer Rewards program, it has to be primarily green. So as much as I love Hondas, red, white, and blue, gotta go green. Because if you're gonna have a brand new bike that's eligible for contingency, you should follow the rules and get paid in case you get lucky and get on the podium with 6 entrants. So that's what I'm doing. The tank is just gorgeous. This white has like a real nice metal flake to it in the sun. It's just such a beautiful bike. Just love it. But anyway, like I was talking here, so I did not have the luxury of time when I painted this bike, and so I was peeling off a sticker, and it peeled up some of the white, because the white went on the red when it wasn't maybe fully cured. I gave it the time that the instructions said that it needed, but it wasn't enough. And you can see here, like, you can tell where the masking tape went on in order to do the blue later. So anyway, I'm kind of a perfectionist, but I'm trying to embrace that it's just a race bike, and it's going to get crashed. I mean, here, this is just the last round where a tire got on me. So, you know, it's going to get scratched. And they also say to mount it first so that you can drill like where the belly pan meets up to the upper fairing. But I don't have time to do that. So I'm just going to paint it. And if it gets all scratched up when I'm getting it mounted and drilled and all that, well, so be it. At least it'll have scratches on it before it goes on track, which is allegedly good luck. So I have a bonus free time today for the first time in my career, I think, as a lead plane pilot for the U.S. Forest Service. We're available, and there's so little fire activity going on and so many people out there that they don't need us. So I got a bonus morning. So quick wet sand. I'm going to hang it, wipe it down, spray it, and then it'll be able to cure for like 2 weeks while I'm gone. All right, got everything hung up. Got to paint this one upside down, not ideal. I really like the tail section. I like the pointy tail section. Kind of reminds me of the R6. I am going around with a bright light. I can see I definitely did not get all of the wet sanding dust off. I just put this one other light out here, and I got a nice headlamp on, which is why you can see the LED flash. So I guess I got to come back here, wipe it all down again, and then we're going to get to painting. All right, it took me 4 cans of spray paint to do everything. Seems to be drying pretty fast. What do we got here? It looks like just over 70 degrees. Looks great. I'm pretty happy with it. You know, it's a spray can finish. I actually just finished spraying these, so we'll see. It did seem like it smoothed out a little bit in between coats. But the color, it looks Kawasaki green enough. Should be fine. Green shoes, green floor. It's just overspray, sweeps right off. Anyway, pretty happy.